Hello and welcome back, disc golf fans, to the Back Nine coverage of round one of the 2021 Delaware Disc Golf Challenge, presented by Innova Champion Discs. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here again by my lefty co-host Nathan Queen. Nathan, we move into the Back Nine, and our card is shooting pretty solid right now.
Yeah, pretty sure we saw 20 birdies throughout the four players that we have on this front nine with only one bogey. Very tough to do out here on this wooded course, and excited to see these guys attack this back nine.
And you know, we attack the back nine starting out with one of the harder holes in the course, so hopefully they can get off to a hot start. As you can see, the leaderboard is heating up with lots and lots of players shooting that 5-6 under par so far.
So Austin Hannum just edging them out with that 6 down, shooting pretty fire on the front.
And here we have the Flight Factory drone flyover, hole number 10, hardest hole in the course. First shot is all placement. The optimal line is a righty forehand turnover that flattens and pushes forward down the fairway, or a lefty backhand turnover like Nathan and myself had to throw. You want to just get in the middle of the fairway and hope to have something to blast down this tunnel uphill. The second shot is what's really challenging.
Yeah, this is another one of those dog legs, but the corner is so early on the hole, it's very hard to get far down there. So that's why placement is very necessary for this first shot. And he's over on that left side. Birdie's out of play.
And yeah, that's why I was saying, you know, the backhand hyzer works, but you kind of have to throw something pretty flippy and get it to move more forward than that.
And Calvin's kept it in the middle, but only threw it maybe 250, 275.
Yeah, he's going to have to really crush his second shot. And I'm so surprised to see a third righty backhand here. And we're gonna probably see a fourth with MJ. Little lower.
That's right.
I think the low on the backhand is solid, so you can prevent that giant fade to the left.
Butter.
Okay, yeah, solid.
Yeah, MJ getting a little more distance than the others with the backhand, which is difficult to do and still stay in the fairway.
Oh, swinging that one a little bit wide.
Oh, good tree play back to the middle of the fairway. Oh, imagine Matty O. It's about 390 or so from here. Hyzer stand up with a slight drift to the left. And just before it drifted, he catches a tree on that right side. He may still have a circle 2 look, though.
And same miss as the other two. You saw MJ just drenched in sweat. Heat index was over 100 degrees.
For the entire round today. Extremely, extremely difficult to keep your hand and your arm and your disc dry.
Okay, a little chip shot from Calvin. And these should all be pretty decently routine up shots here.
Nice little forehand touch there. And with this hole playing as the hardest on the course, it looks like 4 pars is going to play pretty well.
Yeah. Not terrible. Again, biting off as much as you can on that tee shot in order to set up an easier second is kind of the key out here. But at a 4.38, really didn't score that far over par compared to other hardest holes that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, it seems like out here the hardest and the easiest, we're still both fairly close to par. That brings us to hole 11, 600-foot par 4, straight. Just throw down this gap. There is a slight other flex line for the righty forehand or lefty backhand. You can drift it off to the left and then hyzer back in. But you can see the basket straight off of the tee. If you can move forward 300 feet off of the tee, then you'll have a good chance.
Okay, it's drifting right a little bit. As long as it pushes back left, it's going to be really, really good. Wow. Such a good drive.
He's got that way down there. Let's go back and look at his form again.
And he has a unique extension. You watch that arm go way down, but he rotates straight from there. This one, he stands up on a tiny bit, but he generates some of the sneakiest speed of anyone on the tour.
He's got a lot of snap.
Calvin just being a little bit off on his drives today. Hasn't been as pristine as he's been in the past.
This, however, is straight down the middle.
What a shot. Even hits the middle gap.
And you can't, that tree at the end doesn't matter a whole lot. He would have gotten further, but he is way down the fairway and in a great position to attack the green.
Stood up on that one a little bit, but it's sneaking through that right side and pushes right back to the middle of the fairway. Going banger again. Slow turnover. And that is parked for birdie from MJ.
And Calvin's eagle shot there had so much speed on it from that little tiny little forehand that he threw. I didn't realize he was going to get so close to the basket, even with that tree hit. Matty O doesn't have to worry about much there, just kind of tossing up a putter in.
Look at this drive from Colten. That's one of the farther drives that I've ever seen. And that is no problem for Colten. Yeah, you're right. I did not think he was going to get that far up the fairway with this shot. He definitely has a look for a save here.
Good bid from 60 feet there. Oh, MJ having a little bit of hand issues with the heat going on. Once you get it all dried off, it's easy for it to then feel sticky. It's a very, very difficult situation if you can't get that grip.
And Colten moves to 6 under par. He has been playing very solid today. Not getting into too much trouble. Disc is coming out of his hand really solid, and the putt looks really good today.
Matty O with the tap-in birdie. Bringing us into hole 12, 520-foot par 4. A very straight shot off of the tee. Once you get to this stump, take a left. if you push too far and you've got all this green on the right side that you have to deal with, makes it a little more difficult on the approach shot. And you really want to have a clean look at the approach because it's a very fast downhill once you get to the basket.
Colten going with a mid-range here. Pulled it a bit off right, but still might have gotten down there. This is a really technical, old-school par 4. You can get it putter-putter, but there's just so many trees to miss initially.
Shouldn't be too bad, though. I think.
Looks like Calvin disking down to a putter as well and hits the gap great. Doesn't quite push it far enough. He'll still kind of have that corner to deal with. There could be an inside straight line there, but he may have to put a little more angle on that than you want trying to get to this basket. Drifting off to the right and kicks back left. He'll be in a similar spot to Calvin.
Oh, and he has hit early, kicked his disc off to the right side, and he still has a lot of work to do to get up to the basket.
Yeah, he's in the right side where you don't want to be off of the tee, and he's throwing his third shot now. Colten pretty close to the short pad, so he's probably got 270 in and kind of overturns that just a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah, MJ in a pretty good spot, throwing a hyzer with, I believe that was his purple banger, and he's about circle's edge with a pretty downhill putt.
Oh, man, when you're throwing forehand roller at Iron Hill, you're always rolling the dice.
Yeah, there's so many rocks and roots out here that you just can't really expect that to go any further than where it lands the first time.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot you have to miss. Oh, no. Calvin has gone out of bounds on his third shot. That is tragic for Calvin.
I didn't realize there was out of bounds here.
Way off to that right side, there is out of bounds roped off.
Stay right there.
And that is just tragic for Calvin.
MJ making up for that little mistake on the last one and cashing this very scary downhill putt. If he misses that, he's got 40 feet coming back uphill.
Yeah.
A little tree tap on the way by.
I suppose. Grabbing his par. And a double bogey. 6 for Calvin Heimburg. That is rough.
Yeah, with this hole being as short as it is, that's a tough one to swallow. Going into a pretty tough par 3 on the next one to get the birdie on and try to get that bounce back. 360 feet downhill, sort of the opposite of hole 7 here. Go straight down. Then you have this very pinched off kind of gap that you have to get through on the left side. And you want it to fade pretty hard once you've got about 300 feet down the fairway.
He called it. He's inside, and he's just going to be short left. That's going to be more or less a pitch up for a 3.
Get through.
Something I'm really interested in about this course is the fact that most of the holes, like you had kind of mentioned earlier, most of the holes are playing right around par, if not a little harder or just a tiny bit easier than par, which to me shows the scoring spread on this course. There's a lot of different ways that these holes can be played.
And this is looking pretty... Oh, man.
You niced him.
I did. Sorry, Matt.
Look good.
Shot looked great coming out of his hand, and yeah, there's just a couple of guardians you have to miss to enter that gap, and it's very easy to get sucked into one of them.
Calvin's still at the top of the hill, not something you see too often on this hole. He probably has not ever thrown a shot from there.
Oh, man. He's just trying to stay afloat right now, the double bogey.
Oh, there's some OB over there as well. It seems like he has stayed out of that, but that last hole has thrown him off. Colten not wanting much to do with what these other guys have been doing on the hole. Just going to pitch up, get his 3. Same with MJ. So Calvin's got this 85-footer for his bogey now.
And that is a second double bogey in a row. He's going to move to just 1 under par after being 5 at one point. And Matty O has cashed a par putt from the top of the hill. Thrown a really technical standstill down to that spot. And that feels good moving into the final stretch of this round.
Yeah, great par save after being out of position. Not quite getting your upshot how you need it to be. But if you're that good on the green, you always got a chance.
And just like that, 2 holes. And Calvin Heimburg is flirting with even par after being 5 down.
Women are being featured in the magazine.
The women are out there, the pro women, so then it kind of motivates a lot of us amateurs to like go out there and not be afraid.
I would love to see more tournaments like this in the future for women's disc golf.
I want to see more women filling spots in a tournament than men. That'd be something to brag about.
Disc golf's legit and we're here to stay and we're gonna make names for ourselves.
Say yes to disc golf!
Hole number 14, a favorite amongst the players here. 400 feet dead straight par 3. You get to throw something long, flipping, and pushing forward the entire way. Really satisfying tee shot to pull off.
It's just a cool aesthetic when you walk up and just, you've got a 20, 25 foot wide fairway. Plays a little over 400 feet, but just a straight shot through the woods.
A little bit low, but he's going to have about a 60, 70 footer at the basket. This is a crush. Getting up to the basket is a crush.
Yeah, I'd say this plays more about 440.
Yeah.
It's slightly uphill, and I think it's a little more than 400 feet.
A little bit of a kick from Colten. Not really going to have a shot at birdie there. It's very specific. You have to let that ride on the hyzer for quite some time before it hits flat. I would almost say that me and you have a better time on this hole with that left side being a bit more open. We're able to drift that shot towards the basket.
He's pulled this off to the right as well. Kicks off to the left, but has a pretty clean look from there. It's one of those holes that you really want to birdie just because it's a really cool hole and you enjoy throwing it, but it's also a very tough birdie to get.
Okay, Calvin putting a good move on this.
Good shot, Benny. Keep fighting, man.
And that's going to be pin high. We're going to jump back to Calvin throwing just a clean shot on this one. You look at how the disc and his front foot are dictating the direction he's throwing. And he is going to be putting for birdie.
Left that just a bit low and catches a little stump just inside the circle. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. He's been putting great the last few weeks. Or all of his life.
He has been playing a long, long time since he was a kid.
MJ about 90, trying to give it a bid, but he'll be happy with a 3.
And the struggles continue for Calvin. I know that was a longer putt, but we're
We're
kind of
used to
used
seeing
to
him catch
yeah, that looks to be a very comfortable distance for his putt. But back-to-back doubles never feels good. It's always a battle to get back on track.
And another good par from Matteo, 2 in a row. If you just drop those putts and take 2 bogeys there, that changes your round in a hurry pretty drastically. Four pars here after Calvin's drive. We were hoping to see at least one birdie. That moves us into hole 15. I believe they've shortened it from past years. Again, it says 400 feet, probably playing 480 on this one. It is quite a bit uphill and a very late turn on the shot if you want to actually get to the basket. Pretty tough hole.
Yeah, so this disc that MJ's throwing is a good stability for it. You need something to move left, but it needs to stabilize and flatten once you get to the top of the hill. And getting a 3 on it does not feel terrible. This one being the third hardest hole in the course. 3.26. OB all down the right side as well, so if you are hitting early, there's a chance that you are kicking out of bounds and having to scramble.
I'm excited to watch Colten throw this. He's got so much snap and stand-up power. He's one that I feel could reach this, but he does pull it off to the right just a bit. It's a very tight angle for that righty backhand stand-up. You've got a tree on the left side that forces you towards the tree that Colten hit there.
And this is also a flippy distance driver that Maddie's throwing. So he's going to go for the basket on this one. Closing off his hips.
Yeah, you see him using the right side of that tee pad, which I appreciate. I'm always off to the left side using the farthest left that I can. And he got all the way up on that right corner so he could have a little bit of extra room to push that hyzer flip. He gets up there pretty far. All you're really looking for on this one, in my opinion, is a 3.
Yeah. Oh, and look at this. That's easily the best drive that I've ever seen on this hole.
It is the best drive I've ever seen.
And he's putting for birdie from about 28 feet. That would be a nice birdie to cash as Colten throws a nice approach shot that gets the pro roll forward.
Yeah, you don't see that real often out here with these rocks. He usually just hits it and stops.
I am very intrigued to see how truly far from the basket Calvin is.
Yeah, that was an incredible tee shot to push it so far straight.
Oh yeah, so we're not even at his disc yet. MJ cashes a 3.
Circles edge for the 3.
And this is big for Calvin. That is a sick birdie. If you've ever played Iron Hill from these tee pads, you'd understand the I don't even know what to say. It's a fantastic birdie to get.
The Rhino made my bag because of its consistency and the ability to easily float into a putting green softly. It progressively became a disc I grabbed more often, and I realized that it was everything I was looking for in a primary approach disc. When I need an approach to land close to the basket, I trust the Rhino to do the job.
Moving into hole number 16, 610, technical par 4, low ceiling gap, needs to drift a little bit right and then push forward. If you hit the gap with power, you'll have a pretty routine approach to this basket, but the trick is the opening tee shot here.
And that is the ideal line out of Calvin there. He's gotten so much distance.
Wow!
That's further than you see most shots go. He's a little fired up from the last hole. Once you hit this initial gap, there's a little group of trees in the middle that ideally you want to go to the right of, like both of these players have. MJ gets a little kick down to the left. But if you travel to the right of those trees, that's going to give you a better angle into the green. If you do go left, hopefully you've thrown a left to right moving shot so that you can flare up to the right side.
A little bit high for Colten, but that looks like it's going to be okay.
It's faded out a little early.
There's an inside gap on the left side. It's a little bit tighter than the standard gap to get up to the basket, so he hopefully bit off enough distance to where he can get there. Again, Matteo throwing this flippier disc that he's been liking. I think he's going to finesse this with a little nose up and push it right ever so slightly. Because I don't think he's just trying to jam a hyzer flip down there. Yeah, just a little bit of nose up.
And he was heading right towards that group of trees in the middle and catches the larger one. Kicks down to the left side. It's pretty pinched off over there if you're this far back. MJ gonna have another one of his hyzer stand-ups to slight drift off to the left. He got up there probably 90, about 90 to 100 feet.
Yeah.
And very steep angle on this shot, and it still comes back to get a flare. He's in a similar position to MJ there.
Yeah, there's that inside line that Colten was able to hit, and he's going to be up there putting for birdie. And Calvin Calvin.
Just barely behind their upshots that got up there.
Wow.
Gives it a little pitch up.
That is a huge tee shot from Calvin. He's throwing the anger smashes at this point. He started so hot and was throwing so smooth and scrambling well, and then just 2 holes derailed the momentum. But I think he's coming back. Give it to him.
Yeah, on line from 80 feet. That's a tough thing to do.
Okay. He's fighting back. We have 2 holes left. 2 challenging holes, but 2 holes nonetheless.
Yeah, and I want to point out, if you look at the scorecard on the bottom, you'll see 13, 14, 15 with only that 1 birdie on the card. That's kind of that tough par 3 stretch. The par 3s are what's more difficult to score on out here at Iron Hill.
And here we go, Nathan. This hole, number 17, is on my personal Dream 18. It is an eagleable par 5 with 2 beautiful, aggressive tee shots that are shaped well. Tight corridor, bending left after about 350 to 400, and then another tight corridor leading to this beautiful, iconic green with the rock stairs. This is a wonderful hole.
Great par 5. That eagle play you were talking about, it feels like you have to throw pretty much 2 500-foot power shots. This has got a pretty slight uphill the entire way that you don't notice till you get up there and turn back around. Calvin could have a pretty tough time after being that short left off the tee.
Colton's probably looking to hit this on just a little hint of hyzer. Oh, and does the same thing, but kicks off to a more favorable side than Calvin does. MJ's just playing the super simple game today. Been throwing this purple scorch off the tee on almost every hole.
It looks like he's going to find a right side, square up a tree, and just drop into the middle. That's all you need. And purple, a popular color today. He's pulled this over to the right side as well. Looks like he's gotten far enough up there where he may have a fairly clean look towards the fairway. Calvin not able to move very far forward, but does get back to the middle.
Oh boy. He's in the middle, so he'll be able to throw a power shot on this next one. Oh, and he doesn't like that one either.
Smash.
That will work. Right side has some trees you're going to have to miss to get up to the basket, but he is still up there a ways.
MJ staying on the clean side of things and just keeping it low, making sure he doesn't kick real far if he does hit something. He's in the middle of the fairway. And Matt did have a lane over there on the right side. He's able to move up pretty far.
No.
And hitting a very early tree. Luckily, it did carry forward off of it. I don't know that he'll be in a great spot.
Good shot, MJ.
Yeah, he's looks like he's kind of right around those steps. It's pretty easy to hit those steps and roll back down the hill. So if you've stayed on that side hill, that's a win.
Great recovery, Colton.
Okay, so he's approaching the green for a birdie here. What a shot from Matt.
So much touch the entire round.
And you saw just the completely intuitive follow through where he just simply pulls his hand away from him. That's like not something you can really teach to somebody.
And Calvin, the bit too tricky of an angle to get his disc to hyzer back in.
Good up, Calvin.
He's finally made it up to the green. And like I was talking about, he's hit those steps and did kind of get that roll away. And I believe that this is for Colten's bogey.
And Colten was leading the card at 7 under par, and now is going to grab some bogey strokes going into another tough birdie, hole number 18. Second hardest hole in the course. And Matt is going to snag an awesome birdie after a beautiful second shot, beautiful third shot.
Yeah, and Colten tapping in that double, dropping him back down to 5. Moves us into hole 18. Very difficult gap to hit, about 280 feet off of this tee. It's a 630-foot par 4. You want to get just past this tree and move up to the left a little bit. Here is the ideal spot to land. So you have another kind of righty hyzer stand-up shot into this green. Make sure you keep it at least 8 foot high, or you're going to hit these rocks in front and have a tester circle's edge putt.
And Matt is at 7 under right now, leading the card. And that hit solid.
This is a very tough shot to land in the landing zone.
Great shot, MJ.
And that is right in the middle of the fairway. I'm going to jump back here and just show you the beauty of MJ's form. He likes to throw drivers the same way he throws mid-ranges and doesn't extend a lot. And he smashed that drive nice and smooth, almost no extension.
Just controlling it with the spin, with the snap of his wrist.
Yeah, just all spin and angles. That's probably why he's been able to play the same way he's been able to play for so long.
Yeah, with these wooded shots, it really helps out, too. If you're not doing that full reach back, it helps you control that release point a little better, trying to hit these tight gaps. And Calvin missing early left. Colten getting aggressive.
Okay, decent kick. You'd rather be off on that right side.
Wow, great out, Maddie.
He gets up close to the landing zone that you want to be in off of the tee there. Gives him a chance to get up and down for par. And Colten hits this hyzer gap from way deep and gets himself a circle 2 look up there about 50 feet.
And it's been just a grind of a round for Calvin, just finding some really nasty spots and just struggling to scramble through these woods. MJ gives himself a circle 2 look.
Yeah, and it looked like he threw a great drive, but you see he had a very sawed off hyzer angle into that green. If you can get... Wow. That's a great shot from Matt. I was going to say if you could get about 50 feet further and maybe 10 foot right of where MJ landed.
Yeah, it takes just a little bit more aggression. And
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Calvin is looking at another double bogey here unless he can cash this putt.
And that's going to bring him back to even par. 3 double bogeys on the back 9. That is absolutely tragic.
Oh, and Colten with the bounce back after the double bogey on 17. He's able to cash his 55, 60. Excuse me, that's about 70 feet. Another just standstill. What an incredible putt to get so much force on it from 70 feet.
And he's going to move to 600. That's a fantastic score to be at. MJ parring again, remaining at 5. Respectable number. And this is to go to 8.
This is actually for his par
this is for
here.
par. Yes,
this
yes,
is
yes.
a par save to stay
Oh, and
on
he
lead
slams it for
card.
par.
Let's go.
Yeah, hitting earlier off the tee. That's what it was.
That's a great par save after being out of position. Still not even in a great position on his second shot. Forces a shot up there and able to cash on the circle 2 look.
Really a great round of golf for our card. Calvin did have a struggle, but the rest of the cards shooting solid numbers on this course.
Yeah, Calvin shooting well on the front and just some double bogey troubles on the back. I'm sure he'll clean that up, shoot a hot round. But we see Matty O with a 7 down, 1 bogey on the front, clean on the back.
And as you see, Bradley Williams is going to set the pace at a 9 under par. No double digits yet from our field, but I have a feeling come round 2, we're going to have some hungry players making a move for the top. Thank you again for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to Gatekeeper Media on YouTube. We will catch you for the round 2 coverage tomorrow. Again, I'm Brian Earhart. He's Nathan Queen. We will see you next time.
We'll see you guys out there.